Okay. Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to pack your bag for the Aesthetics State Board exam in North Carolina for 2026. So, as we know, the Aesthetics State Board, it involves two clients. Your first client is going to be your basic facial, and then your second client is going to be your waxing and tweezing and your facial makeup. So today I'm going to show you how to set up your bag, and I'll do a separate video that shows you exactly how to do your state board. So first, let's go over some of the components that we need in our bag. So first, we need our three brown bags. So one bag should be labeled soiled linen, and your bags do need to have liners in them. I suggest stapling your liners to your bag so that your bags don't fall down inside. We need one that says soiled linen. We need one that says items to be disinfected. And we need another one that says trash. So make sure you have those three bags. Next up, we need a single pair of gloves, and I'll talk about why you need that single pair of gloves in a second. But just make sure you put two pairs of gloves in a bag and then label them gloves. You need your barbicide wipes. You have to have real EPA registered disinfectant wipes. So make sure you get real barbicide wipes. Next up is going to be your hand sanitizer. Your hand sanitizer also has to be real, and it has to be 70% alcohol. So make sure you have real hand sanitizer. Your hand sanitizer and your barbicide wipes, these two products cannot be simulated. So please make sure that they are the real thing. All right, next up, let's talk about our client one bag. So again, your client one is your basic facial. So let's talk about the things that we need in our client one bag. So first, just make sure you have a big Ziploc bag labeled client one. You can get these big giant Ziploc bags from Dollar Tree. They're called storage bags, and they come in a pack of 5. Okay. I'm just going to take everything out of here and show you exactly what we have. So the first thing I have here are 2 steam towels. So just roll you up 2 towels and place them in a freezer bag and just label that bag steam towels. For your state board test, your steam towels will need to be wet. So just make sure you wet those right before you go to your test. Next up, you need your facial products. So I have a Ziploc bag. This is a quart size Ziploc bag, and I have this labeled facial products. In this bag, everything is simulated, but I have a toner, a cleanser, a moisturizer, a massage oil, and then in these 2 cups right here, I have an exfoliant and I have a mask. So make sure you have all of your facial products labeled and you have them in a bag that's labeled as well. In another quart size freezer bag, I have more facial supplies. So I also have this bag labeled facial supplies as well. And inside of this bag, I have 1 pair of gloves. I have 4 4x4s. I have about 12 2x2s. I have 2 fan brushes, 2 empty portion cups, my exfoliating brush, and then you'll need either 2 wax sticks or 2 spatulas, whichever one you use is fine. I'm going to throw these items back in this bag here, and these are my facial supply items. Okay. And then I have 1 more facial supply bag here. And in this bag, I have my towel that I'll be using for my mannequin drape. I have a new headband, a disposable headband. I have a bowl that I'll be using for my water. I have a small bottle of water. Just a small water is all you need because you won't be using a lot of water during this exam. So just make sure you have a small water. I have my table cover. So I have some blue paper towel in a bag labeled table cover. So this is what I'll be using to lay my supplies on. And then I also have some paper towels in a bag so I can soak up the water out of my bowl when this section is over. Because remember, there's no sink inside of the exam. So you'll need to have some paper towels to soak that water up out of your bowl. So I'm going to put these items back in here. And this is everything that I need for my client one, which is the basic facial. All right. And then I will put all of these items back into my big client one bag here. All right, next up we have our client two. So client two is going to be your waxing and tweezing and your facial makeup. So let's go over the supplies for our client two bag. So again, I have my very big storage bag that I get from Dollar Tree. And all those supplies I use for the test you can get from Dollar Tree. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to make your state board kit. So first up here, we have our waxing and tweezing supplies. So I'll take these items out of the bag so you can see exactly what we have. So I have a single pair of gloves. I have my astringent, my pre-epilation, which is a powder. So you can use cornstarch, baby powder, as long as it's a powder. I have my simulated soft wax. So whatever you want to use for your simulated soft wax, you can use that as well. Then I have my post epilation. So your post epilation can be like an aloe or it can be like a cream. Just make sure it's labeled post epilation. I have my wax strips. So I have 3 wax strips here. One, because you'll have to, of course, test your wax and remove that wax off of yourself. And then I have 2 for my client brow. I have some cotton rounds. You can also use 2x2s, but I have about 12 of these just to apply my product for my waxing and my tweezing. I have about 4 wax sticks. And then, of course, I have my tweezers. So this is everything that you will need for the waxing and tweezing portion of the exam. So I'm just going to put all these items back in the bag here. All right, next up we have our makeup supplies. So depending on what size palette you have, if you have a bigger makeup palette, you can just put it in a separate bag and just label it clean makeup palette. But if you have a small makeup palette, you can possibly fit it with your makeup supplies. So I have my makeup supplies in this quart size freezer bag, and I'll go through the items that I have in here. So again, I have a pair of gloves in this bag. I have my eyeshadow. I have blush. I have foundation, and this is the same foundation that will match the color of my mannequin. So make sure that your foundation matches your mannequin. This comes from Dollar Tree, and this is light number 1. I have my lip color, so this is like a red lipstick, so it can show up on my mannequin. I have mascara. And then I also have a eyeliner pencil. Make sure that your eyeliner pencil is sharp before you go. If it's not sharp, just make sure you sharpen it before your test. But a sharpened eyeliner pencil symbolizes that you disinfected it before you started on a new client. So just make sure that you have a freshly sharpened pencil. And then left in the bag, I have my applicators. So all of my applicators are disposable. I personally feel like it's easier to use disposable applicators for your makeup test. But I have my wedge sponges here. I have a cotton ball to apply my blush. I have a mascara wand for my mascara. I have some Q-tips. You can use Q-tips to apply your eyeshadow. You can use Q-tips to apply your lip color. Whichever you prefer is fine. I also have some lip applicators as well. And then I have a few wax sticks in here because you'll have to scrape the makeup into your palette. So just make sure you have either sticks or you have some spatulas just to scrape your product into your palette to show infection control, because that's really what they're looking for during this test. And that's everything that you need for your makeup. I'm going to put everything back in the bag, and then we have one more bag for client 2 to go through. Also in our client 2 bag, we have our clean client supplies. So I have a table cover. I'm sorry, I have a mannequin drape. This is my mannequin drape. So I have a mannequin drape. I have a table cover. And then I have a headband. And this is everything that you need for your client 2. Right, so I've showed you our client 1 bag, I showed you the client 2 bag, and now I'll be showing you your universal bag. So your universal bag is the bag that stays out the whole entire time. And the great thing about the universal bag is that since it's always out, if you need something, you can always go in this bag to get it. So in your universal bag, you have some extra paper towels. And these paper towels will be the ones that you use during your blood exposure. Since you have to really wash your hands with hand sanitizer, we'll be using paper towel for that. We have a first aid kit and a pair of gloves. So inside of our first aid kit, we have band-aids, we have antibiotic ointment, and we also have antiseptic wipes. And excuse me. And the first aid kit also comes from Dollar Tree. We also have a extra supplies bag. So your extra supplies bag should be full of single-use items that you may need during the test. So just a few extra items. So for instance, if you drop a wax stick on the floor, well, it's a single-use item. So you have to immediately throw it in the trash. You can't use it on your client. But if you have an extra wax stick in your extra supplies bag, you can go in here and get one. So in here, I just have a few extra makeup supplies. I have an extra headband just in case my headband falls on the floor. So whatever you feel that you'll need for your client, just have it in your extra supplies bag. And then I also have some gloves in here as well. I say pack about 8 pairs of gloves just to make sure that you have enough, just in case one of your gloves break during your test, you'll have some backup. And then you also have gloves to disinfect your table as well. So about 8 to 12 pair of gloves should be enough. But this is all of the items that go into your universal bag.